Morning all. I'm sure not many of you are wondering what Jez gets up to on a chilled Sunday morning on the boat, but I'm going to tell you anyway, and give you a little tour of the cabin. And yeah, so here we go. Front of the boat here, in the front of the cabin, we have a V-berth, room for two, and this is where I sleep, usually with my head right tucked up at the front there. That's a cool bag, which doesn't have any cooling, so it's just a bag, but it makes me feel better. This little table here, that's its sort of open position, and then when you're cooking and so on, and then you can swing it over the cooker here if you want to do sort of working on charts or other such stuff. This is my cooker, which is called an Origo. It's a spirit stove which I run off bioethanol, which doesn't have the nasty smell that meths would have. This little pressure cooker here is what I do most of my main meals in. I do cook for 2 nights, eat out the pot, and then heat it up again the next night for the second meal. Works quite well. I made this little netting vegetable rack. It's quite nice. It just stops them all going mouldy in a corner somewhere. Got a green box with fishing stuff in. This plastic box is my sort of navigation box. It's got charts and passage planning pro formas, pilot guides, and a few other bits and bobs to do with navigation stuff. Up here we've got the main VHF radio, which you use to call the harbour master and Coast Guard and so on, and other boats when you need to. I've got a little mini AIS receiver, which means I can see where other boats are and what direction they're moving in. Binoculars, a winch handle, a spare handheld VHF radio. This side I've got my navigation tablet in its charging cradle. I made this charging cradle up from various scrap bits of plywood, and it's worked so well I never got round to making the definitive model. And this metal cradle here is where the tablet sits when I'm sailing, and I can swing it out and view it in the cockpit there. That's my departure checklist, a little aid memoir for all the boys and what they mean. Down here is where I keep all my sort of general warm clothes to take off or put on during passages. I've got my electric tiller pilot, which can steer the boat to a GPS bearing. And under here we've got all the electrical setup, solar charger, battery monitor, all the switches for navigation lights, cabin lights, USB charging ports and instruments and so on. I've got a bunch of little charging ports under here, USB, and then the sort of car cigarette lighter type sockets. Behind me used to be a sort of fold down sink, but I took it out and I just keep everything in here that hasn't got anywhere else to go. That's about it. Under all the cushions there are little storage places for food. Same under here and this side. I think that's about it. I now do my washing up in this small builder's bucket here, which works quite well. And I think the only thing we've not mentioned is, of course, the obligatory tub of digestive biscuits.